Okay, and we are live. Let me make sure I'm off mute. Okay, welcome mamas to the Mom and Baby Nutrition Support Group. My name is Alex Gardner. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian nutritionist, and I specialize in helping mamas that are pregnant, that are postpartum, and also that are trying to conceive. And so that is one of my specialties that I focus on is fertility nutrition. And so I get a lot of questions on what is the diet that I need to follow or what foods are important for me if I am trying to conceive. So I did a training a couple weeks ago. You can find that in the guide section under fertility nutrition. And we talk about in that little training, and I'll recap that here. We talk about how we want to follow a healthy diet pattern. So what does that actually mean? It can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people, but generally we want to follow a Mediterranean style diet pattern. So that means lean proteins, fish, olive oil, unsaturated fats, lots of fruits and veggies, whole grains, low fat dairy. So those are going to be our key components of what we want to eat. And we want to limit processed foods. We want to limit red meats and processed meats. We want to limit trans and saturated fats. And we want to limit refined grains. So that's, a general healthy eating pattern follows what we sometimes consider the Mediterranean diet. Now, if you're putting that all together, you're thinking, okay, so I know what foods are important, but how do I actually put that together in a way that is attainable to eat? Well, great question. Let me tell you. And if you're watching live with me, feel free to put any comments that you have in the chat. And if you're watching the replay and you have any additional questions as we go through, feel free to put those in the comments as well, and I can help you with that. But what I'm going to show you is a sample 3-day fertility diet. And this is an example of one of the meal plan recipe books that I give my clients that I work with. So I'm going to share my screen here. And if you want this, I will be happy to give this to you. Just comment fertility diet. I don't know. Yeah. Comment fertility diet in the comments and I'll reach out to you and make sure that you get this PDF because it's going to be very helpful. It's got some recipes on it and everything. So what does a fertility diet 3-day meal plan look like? So if we go down here, the first thing that it'll show you is I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? We have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 snacks. Now, if you get this, and if you work with me, you know this, but if something is grayed out like this, it means it's a leftover. So I tried not to put many leftovers in here because I wanted you to have a variety of different recipes, but I did want to put one leftover so you saw how that worked. And of course, when you're individualizing something to your diet and your lifestyle, if your Monday is incredibly hectic and you can't cook dinner on a Monday, then, move this Monday to Sunday and have leftovers on Monday. That's totally appropriate. You don't have to follow this to the T. That's why it's a sample. So let's look. So if I were to talk with a fertility client, and this is something that they were interested in, this is what a 3-day meal plan might look like. Well, on Monday, we might have a banana and pecan chia overnight parfait. So that is going to give us some great plant-based proteins in the chia and the pecan and the oats, the milk. And then we also get fruit in our breakfast, and we get dairy, low-fat dairy as well. So that's an awesome breakfast option, super easy to make. We get all those great components. For snack, we might have pita chips and hummus. Again, those are going to be whole grains and a plant-based protein source. For lunch, we might have avocado toast with chickpeas and tomatoes. So healthy fats, plant-based proteins, whole grains. fruits and vegetables, because technically tomatoes and avocados are considered fruits, but also vegetables. So whatever you want to call them, we can pretend they're both. And then for our second snack, we might also have celery with peanut butter and raisins. And then one of the key components of a fertility and Mediterranean diet is fish, especially salmon. So I couldn't do that a sample meal plan without including some salmon. So we have a goat cheese stuffed salmon with cauliflower and wild rice. So we've got the vegetable, we've got the salmon, and we've got the wild rice, which is a whole grain. Okay, so that's one day sample. Now, what about the next day? So the next day, we might have hummus, tomato, and egg toast, which provides us with protein, whole grains, and vegetables or fruit, depending on how you want to classify the tomato. We might have a pesto chickpea stuffed avocado for a snack, a really yummy artichoke, olive, and sun-dried tomato pesto pizza, which is this right there, and that looks super tasty. For snack, we might have some Kalamata olives. And then for dinner, we might have some kale pesto chicken pasta. So this is all falling in with our fertility diet / Mediterranean diet meal plan. Then if we look at Wednesday, for breakfast, we might have an egg, feta, and tomato wrap. So we've got the dairy, we've got the whole grains, we've got the protein, and we've got the fruit / vegetable. We might have pear, pumpkin seeds, and chocolate for our snack, have leftovers from dinner the night before for lunch, have some figs, which are high in fiber, for our second snack, and then some sweet potato nacho fries for dinner. So again, this is a sample, and this kind of shows you how you can put different components of a fertility diet into action. Because in that previous training, when we talked about, oh, we need this, 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 and this, and we want to avoid this, 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 and this, it's like, okay, but actually doing it is a little bit harder. So that's why I wanted to provide you guys with this sample meal plan, so that you have a few recipes to get you started, and you can kind of see how this can fit into your lifestyle. Now, if you want to do Monday 3 days in a row because it's easier for you, which I usually do a lot of times, by all means do it. This is just a sample. Each day here comes to about 2,000 calories each. So right on a typical what an active woman might consume. So right around there. And then if you come down here, you get a grocery list for this meal plan. And then you also get recipes for each of the components of this meal plan on this PDF. So we have those tasty looking banana pecan chia overnight oats parfait, the hummus, tomato, and egg toast, the egg, feta, and tomato wrap, the pita chips and hummus, which you don't really need a recipe for, but you know, it's there if you want it. The pesto chickpea stuffed avocados, the pear, pumpkin seeds, and chocolate, the avocado toast with chickpeas and tomatoes, this tasty looking pizza that I'm going to have to make soon, ants on a log, aka celery with peanut butter and raisins, Kalamata olives, which I personally am not a fan of Kalamata olives. I like black olives because I think Kalamata olives are incredibly salty, but that's just my opinion. Some figs, which again, you don't need a recipe for figs, but here they are. This tasty looking goat's cheese stuffed salmon with cauliflower and wild rice, the kale pesto chicken pasta, and then finally the sweet potato nacho fries, which I'm also going to have to try soon because that looks super tasty. So again, if you want this recipe PDF, feel free to put in the comments fertility diet, and I will make sure to get this PDF over to you. It includes the sample meal plan, the grocery list, and all the recipes. And if that's something that you enjoy and you are interested in learning how to do more of that and how to work on that, either fertility or pregnancy or postpartum, feel free to reach out to me. We can talk a little bit more about your current situation and figure out what a awesome course of action would be for you to reach your particular goals. So again, if you want that PDF, comment fertility diet in the comments or reach out to me personally and I will get this over to you. Mamas, you have a great rest of your week and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, mamas.